just so that we can kind of get started, and those who are kind of trickling in can sort of join later on. But welcome to our first virtual happy hour with Gogh Vodka. We hope to be able to kind of repeat it because this is going to be a really kind of fun event and an opportunity to kind of connect and also to make a delicious drink with the wonderful Cocktail Bandits, Johnny and Taneka. So before we begin, just a couple of housekeeping items. If people do want to just, be conscious of sound while, and I'm saying this while I have sort of blaring, I don't know if anyone can hear this blaring techno that's in my garden, but it is quite intense at the moment. But if you could just please all mute yourselves. I'm about to mute myself when we begin, just so that we can hear Johnny and Taneka clearly. And sort of listen in. It doesn't look like anyone's kind of ready to make the drink. We're hoping that you're going to follow on. Okay, brilliant. Annette's ready. We're hoping that you're going to follow on no matter where you are and really kind of play an active role. But if not, we are recording this event. So you'll be able to watch later on, and kind of everyone here should have the recipe. So you should be able to make it again later on at home. On that note, the event is being recorded, so you can listen in live if you'd like to just turn and not be featured in the recording. That does mean that you're going to have to turn your camera off, just to avoid being in the recording. There should be some time at the end of the event to kind of like connect, ask questions, say hi. We want this to be kind of like fun and relaxed and informal. And finally, I just want to say, I forgot to mention the sort of big exciting thing about this is that we have a wonderful partnership, and Lena Braswell is also on the call with Gogh Vodka, and every dollar purchased from a Gogh Vodka bottle will be given to Art Table. And I want to thank Lena Braswell as well as Jessie, I think we've just met, who's on the call, who have really kind of facilitated this partnership. And we will be sharing later on a kind of discounted shipping code. I haven't tried the vodka yet, but I've heard only really wonderful things, and that the bottle is designed by a female artist. So it's a really wonderful drink and kind of fun way to also give back to Art Table. So on that note, I think I want to pass it over to the Cocktail Bandits, Johnny and Taneka. And I'm going to mute myself.
Well, good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Oh.
You came out to join us this evening. Thank you for that introduction, Imogen. And thank you, Art Table and Gogh, for allowing us to share a little bit of our love for craft cocktails with you tonight.
As well as art.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm Johnny Caldwell.
And I'm Taneka Reaves, and we are the Cocktail Bandits, your curly ladies who talk cocktails daily.
We are located in beautiful and historic Charleston, South Carolina. We're dealing with a little bit of inclement weather right now outside, but that's even more reason to get inside and make some cocktails.
Yes, it's definitely happy hour during the coronavirus, every day.
That's right, and we're wearing our black and white and bringing you some art dealer chic vibes this evening with the hair pulled back, all that good stuff for you this evening. But we wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background on who we are and what we do before we get into the actual crafting of things. As we said, we are based in Charleston, South Carolina. I am a native, and I met Taneka on the very first day of college at the College of Charleston about 16 years ago now.
Yes, 16 years ago. And ever since then, we've been pretty close. We like to enjoy the city, enjoy our surroundings, and always enjoy a nice beverage. So when we started our business about 7 years ago, we saw that there weren't really a lot of women that were talking about beverages or cocktails, and we didn't have any examples. So we decided that we were going to be the examples that we wanted to see. We saw a lot of people doing social media work with fitness and with hair and with nutrition and even with food, and we didn't see any women, especially Black women, in that space. So that's why we started our brand.
So Taneka got into the beverage industry. She started working at bars and restaurants. So when I was in law school, I would go and visit her at those bars and restaurants, and she would make me these amazing cocktails. And that really opened up my eyes to the craft that went behind the beverages, the amount of thought and energy that goes into crafting them. And just, I became more active as a consumer as opposed to someone just passively at the bar. And after I graduated law school, I had difficulty finding work. I couldn't find work as a lawyer. Either I was underexperienced or didn't have enough, background in actual practice, which was really discouraging. But I looked at it as opportunity to kind of find my own path.
And that was the same thing with me. I was working in a lot of fast-paced dive bars, and I really wanted to learn more about the craft and actually the techniques. And I was finding a very hard time finding work. So instead of us griping about it or fussing about it, we decided to teach ourselves and have a platform online where people can follow, learn about beverages with us, and then we just can all learn together.
And that's what we did. We got a cocktail kit offline, and we made almost every cocktail in that book using ingredients that you can find here in Charleston. We wanted to always represent that low country cuisine, that low country heritage. So we would use muscadine grapes, and we would use loquats, and we would go to our local farmers, and we would get grown hibiscus right off the farm for our teas and our cocktails. So we were showing people that Charleston had way more to offer than just the amazing food scene that they were seeing in the magazines.
And lucky for us, Charleston produces a lot of liquid assets, as we like to call them. They produce a lot of spirits here. We produce sodas, coffee sodas, different syrups and mixtures, even some drinking vinegars. So we've been able to try a lot of different products here in the city locally, support our local artisans and beverages, and really be able to expand our palettes as well as learn about these different communities within the same community here in Charleston.
So social media really opened up a lot of doors for us. We were able to connect with mixologists all over the country. We were able to learn from them, and we were able to see other women of color in that space to encourage us and keep us knowing that, we're doing the right thing, even though we don't really see representation. We're headed in the right way, and people are wanting to know what our voice is. So we kind of said that we started out giving a feminine urban perspective to the spirits market, and we're pretty proud to be able to have really honed in on that, and people respect our opinion on spirits and for cocktails.
And, going out to find women, especially women of color, we found a whole lot of other groups that we're able to work with, have deep conversations with. We deal with a lot of LGBTQ groups. We deal with a lot of Spanish groups, Latina groups, and we just love being able to show the diversity within the beverage community, because sometimes it looks a little homogenous, and we're here to show people that, hey, there's diversity. We're here to show you that, and we're here to be a part of it.
Diversity can mean so many different things. People always put it into a black and white context, but we're talking about all ages. We want people who are in the 50+ club to feel comfortable going out to a craft cocktail bar, sitting down at the bar and ordering a really nice drink and not feeling out of place there. We want people who are on business meetings to feel confident when they're ordering a drink with their boss, so that they can show that they are in command and knowledgeable as well. So it's all about finding the right beverage for the experience. And we always say there's a cocktail for every event, whether or not it's a baby shower or a barbecue.
Absolutely. And with all of our adventures, we have been able to travel around the country. We've been doing a lot of different festivals, conferences, and events. And we travel abroad to also learn about beverage culture, drink culture in Italy, France, Mexico, beyond.
Yes, we also are super, super privileged to have been able to put together a compilation of recipes, stories, and the first ever book written by African-American bartenders, Holy Spirits, Charleston's Culture Through Cocktails.
Yes.
It represents a lot of Gullah Geechee culture, more about our story. We definitely show more about how we infuse our rich Gullah Geechee and Charleston culture into beverages, into just a beverage lifestyle. We also have a couple featured cocktails from our favorite bartenders here in Charleston, just wanting to really show the love and showcase what we have to offer here in South Carolina, especially in Charleston.
Absolutely. And we really wanted it to be a regional book, because in Charleston, especially with our enslaved African culture, there's not a lot of books or artifacts or anything that shows what we used to make back in the day, what kind of foods we used to cook, any recipes. So it was just really an honor for us to be able to create something that in 20 years, 40 years, our children and our children's children will be able to see women of color actually in the hospitality world and being represented.
Yeah, so we're going to drop the link in the chat box on how you can acquire a copy of that book. We appreciate your support on that. We also appreciate brands like Van Gogh for supporting women in general, women artists. We were working with Van Gogh before COVID started, and it's been really awesome to be able to translate that relationship onto a digital platform, and that we've been able to make modifications to our what we had planned for this year and still continue to work. So we appreciate you guys as well for that. And now we want to get into a little bit about vodka brand education before we get into the actual mixology of things.
Absolutely.
So vodka soda is the most consumed cocktail, the most ordered cocktails in bars across the country, period. People are ordering that. It's something that I think people are familiar with from hearing it on TV and stuff. But I think a vodka soda doesn't really do vodka any justice because it doesn't allow it to really shine and showcase all its amazing properties.
Yes, vodka is categorized as an odorless, tasteless spirit, but we've done a vodka tasting, and vodkas definitely have flavor. And we love Van Gogh's vodka because it works so well with so many of our cocktails. We're not usually vodka girls, but with Van Gogh, we make an exception.
Yeah, it's a really great fortifier. And I definitely remember my mom is a huge vodka drinker. That's like her go-to when it comes to spirits, anything with vodka. And she usually doesn't really discern that much. She can go for a Fleischmann, she can go for, bottom of the barrel type of stuff. But when we definitely introduced her to this Van Gogh vodka, she was really perked up about it, and she really, really likes it. And now whenever I am introduced to a new vodka, I kind of run it by her, and I'm like, Mom, what do you think? This is good? Do you like this vodka? So yeah, there's definitely levels when it comes to your vodka consumption and enjoyment.
Yes, and speaking of Van Gogh vodka is crafted from a premium blend of wheat sourced from Holland, Germany, and France to give it a very soft, well-balanced taste. Every flavor undergoes an all-natural double infusion process, giving each drop of vodka its vibrant signature flavor. And we are going to mention one more time that all of this, we should also mention the affiliation and the $1 per bottle promo for every bottle that's purchased to Art to Table.
That's right. With the Go Girl campaign, Van Gogh worked with an amazing artist. Her name is Kate Warham. She designed this amazing, colorful flower arrangement that's on this signature Go Girl bottle, of which $1 is being donated to Art Table. And we were asked by Van Gogh to construct a cocktail that was inspired by the bottle design. And we were like super psyched because we love being able to infuse art and different mediums as inspiration for our cocktails. So we looked at it, and we, of course we, drank some of it, and really research, got the juices flowing, literally, figuratively. And we came up with the Rose Gold cocktail. But Go Girl really just resonated with us as a brand, being female entrepreneurs, women who have been told there wasn't a market for your business. No one would support Black girls running around drinking cocktails. And now people really see the bigger message that it's just way more than the cocktails. It's about a lifestyle that involves really fine beverages and drinking choices. And we really are grateful that a brand like Van Gogh could be able to recognize what our message was.
Yes, we love to express art through storytelling, through our beverages, through our clothing, our hair. We feel like we embody art every day, and just having a cocktail to represent that and having a little taste of our experience is what we like to deliver to all of our wonderful followers.
And we like to support women locally as well. We hire a lot of women photographers, definitely all of our makeup artists, just however we can. Our graphic designer who made our logo that you can see there is made by a Black female artist. So as much as we can, we support women entrepreneurs, women artists, and we want to encourage you to do so in your local community as well.
And one main reason why we love to create with vodka is because you can easily convert a mocktail into a cocktail just by using vodka. You can make nice, simple cocktails where it's not overbearing or changing the flavor of your drink. And we just like that vodka is simple, crisp, it gets you to the point and has you feeling right after a couple of drinks.
That's so true. I know we covered a whole lot, so if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comment section and we'll get to them towards the end of the demonstration.
Yeah.
So definitely, you guys, we want to encourage you to get yourself a cocktail kit. The one we got was like $30 online, and start building your bar at home. get you some ingredients that you haven't tried before, get you the bar tools, a shaker, a jigger, a bar spoon, so you can be all professional and fancy with it. You know, it's like a painter when he has his easel and all of his paints together. Now you can actually craft once you have all your tools in place. And we have all of our tools in place now. Doesn't it look nice? A little succulent doesn't hurt either.
And if you guys have any questions on how to build your own home bar, or even some tidbits about different spirits, all of that is in our book, Holy Spirits, Charleston's Culture Through Cocktails. It will give you a brief beginner's guide to building your bar at home.
Doesn't have to break the bank. It doesn't have to take hours of research for you guys to have a capable bar that you can entertain friends and family when they come over to visit. And those times are so few and far between now with COVID. So you were able to make it really special when you do have someone coming over for you.
All right.
Now we're going to get into the actual construction of this cocktail.
Yes.
We got one already made, and cannot wait to get into him now. We're going to get into the rose gold cocktail. Again, we were really inspired by the artwork. You can see all the pinks and the greens and the blues.
If you can see it, our lights give us a hard time, but you can really see the bottle.
It's a really awesome design. And we wanted to invoke the femininity in that design, also the strength that women possess as well. And this vodka too. It's fortified, it's strong. So it's something that, you know, sometimes women were underestimated, and sometimes, you know, we want to show our strength in subtle ways. And I think this cocktail is subtly strong and refreshing. We definitely want to call this a porch pounder cocktail because you can enjoy 2 or 3 on your porch on a great evening like today without being, you know, completely inebriated.
In your home, so it's okay.
So we're going to start with the first ingredient in this cocktail, which is going to be some citrus juice. We're using lemon juice today, and this is going to add some brightness and some tartness to your cocktail. Lemon juice is such a refreshing additive to a cocktail. We're just going to use 1/4 ounce for the rose gold cocktail.
And then next we're using a honey syrup. It is 1 part water, 1 part honey. We like to blend them together, 1, so your cocktail isn't so sweet, and 2, for it to be able to mix. A lot of times when you put honey just into the tin with the ice, it tends to get cold and it doesn't shake up well in the cocktail. So we're gonna do 1 ounce of the honey syrup.
And we have someone who is following along. I see you down there grabbing things out the cabinet. We're going to slow it down for you so you can grab your stuff, because we want you to have everything in place. Like we said, we love to showcase all of the liquid assets that we have coming out of South Carolina. And one of those that we have is a lot of tea. We have the only tea plantation in the country, the Charleston Tea Plantation. It's about 30 minutes drive from where we are right now in Charleston. We love going out there. It's beautiful. It smells great. And we're really proud to have that asset so close by to us.
Yeah, it's really cool to see fresh tea and see the whole process of actually making the tea. So that was a really good learning experience for us.
So we want to encourage you, once we, you know, outside opens back up and you come to Charleston, to take a trip out to go see the Charleston Tea Plantation. It's one that you should add on your places to visit. Now, we didn't get this rose tea from the tea plantation. We got this from a local tea shop, but we just use whole rose buds. You can kind of see it in that mixture. We took some really hot water and we steeped those rose buds, and you get a really light colored pink tea mixture. We didn't add any sweetness to this because we had that honey syrup that we add. And this way also you can control the sweetness of your cocktail. Sometimes people will make a large batch of tea and it's so sweet, it's so saccharine, you can't even drink it. So when you don't have the sugar to the tea, it allows you to control that when you add it into the cocktail. So we're going to use 2 ounces of our home brewed rose tea.
All right. And then the star of this show, the Van Gogh Gogh Vodka. This is 100 proof, so be careful with this. We would usually do 2 ounces, but because we have such a powerful vodka, we're going to do 1.25 ounces.
80 proof.
I mean, if you're feeling frisky, you can do 2 ounces as well, but we're going to do 1.25 ounces for this.
We're going to get that ice going. But also one more thing to note, while we wait on that ice to come on down, we're gonna get the, we also wanna mention that using vodka in cocktails is so easy to, over fortify them. So like Taneka said, start on the lower end when it comes to adding the vodka in there. And you can always add more. It's really hard for you to take out the vodka. Thank you. All right, so now you wanna add some ice to your shaker. Secure the lid.
And this is our favorite part, ladies. We are going to shake.
Hey, that's right. Shake it up. Mix it all together. We have these beautiful glasses from the Drinking Divas. These are coupes, but they have like these little glitter bombs inside the stem, so a little bit of arcs in the glassware.
And they are a woman-owned business that just sells cocktail glasses. And when you're shaking your cocktail, make sure that the vessel is super frosted. That's how you know that it's shaken up really well.
So that's when you know it's ready.
Yeah. Then we're gonna pour.
You can see that really nice pink hue of the cocktail. All right, so now we're gonna add the garnish. And the garnish is like the accessories you put on when you're putting your outfit together, your earrings, your necklaces. So we're crafting a rosebud out of the lemon peel. So get you a really firm lemon, and you want to use a fruit peeler and just slide it down the side of the fruit until you get a nice script of lemon peel that you can use. There you go. And then you just want to kind of take that peel and roll it into like a little cylinder type of shape. Now we're using these clear plastic toothpicks, but you can use a wooden one at home and just drive that through the bottom of that cylinder peel to secure everything together like that. Then we're gonna take one of those dry tea buds that we used when we were steeping the tea, and we're just gonna stick that right inside that little cylinder piece. And now you have a little lemon peel rosebud garnish that you can drop right into your cocktail. These are a little heavy on that side. And there you have it. Your rose gold cocktail. Cheers.
Yes.
All right. Oh man, that's lovely.
Julie or Jonquil, I would love to hear. Julie or Jonquil, I would love to hear for those who made it, how it's tasting. And I know it's right after the workday, so. And sorry, Johnny and Tamika to interrupt.
Mine's going really well. I'm really happy with my results. I had to improvise a little bit. I didn't have any rose tea, but I have this like super fruit berry tea, which I thought kind of would work. I cut my lemon before you said to use it as like a little thingamajig, like a garnish. So again, I'm improvising, but I love it. It's very refreshing. This is fun.
Great.
Right. And we like easy 3 to 4. Ma'am, what did you say, Julia?
Able to make your drink, so I'm just having a regular martini, but I promise to make your drink soon.
No, martini is good too, as long as you're using
Amazing. Sorry to interrupt.
So I had some questions. I wanted to know how available Van Gogh Vodka is, because I couldn't find it in my local liquor store, and here I am in Los Angeles, nor could I find it at several bars when I went there in Montecito. So how available is it?
It's available nationally. We actually have it, you could order it online on Reserve Bar, and they'll ship it directly to you. And we have Go Girl on there, as well as some of the other decadent flavors like Dutch chocolate, Dutch caramel. And then in addition to that, on the vangoghvodka.com website, you can click on product locator, just type in your zip code, and it'll show you all the locations that have Van Gogh available near you.
Very good. So then I had another question. I put it on the chat, but I might as well say it verbally. You said you did some vodka tasting, and I wonder how it would compare to what I consider, I'm a vodka drinker, and I like it straight on the rocks. But
That's right.
I wonder how it compares to some vodkas like Belichnaya or Belvedere or Chopin, uh, if you know those.
Yeah. That's interesting because we did a blind taste test, Van Gogh vodka versus Grey Goose, and 9 times out of 10, the consumer preferred our Van Gogh vodka because it's really, really smooth, and because of the triple wheat that's used to make the vodka, that's what makes it really sweet.
Oh, that sounds like what I would like, because I find Grey Goose sharp, and I don't like to drink that because I drink it on the rocks a lot. So I really taste the vodka itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you can find a bottle and try it. Like Lena said, it has a triple wheat blend, and they choose those wheats based on the different terroirs of the area. So one that comes from one area would have a saltiness from the sea, whereas a different wheat would have a sweetness. So it's really blended with thought. And what's inside of the signature Go Girl bottle is that classic award-winning 80 proof vodka. So I think you'll really like it. It depends what vodkas are made with. Like I believe you mentioned Chopin is a potato vodka, so that tends to be like a little thicker on the palate, whereas Grey Goose does tend to be a little sharper. Absolute, you can really taste the wheat. So some people like that, some people don't. It's a matter of taste, but hopefully you can try Van Gogh and taste test on your own and report back.
Sounds like the kind I would like. Smooth.
Yeah, it's definitely a vodka that can be its own canvas. You know, you don't have to mix it. You can drink it on its own, and especially in a martini.
Well, thank you.
You've inspired us to do our own tasting, so we're gonna have to bring out our vodkas and do a tasting with the Van Gogh to compare ourselves, because Van Gogh wasn't in our vodka tasting at our last tasting.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your cocktail book and trying the cocktail. When I get home, I'm not home.
Another interesting, because you're in LA, we have Sourced Craft Cocktails does delivery in LA, where they actually send you a full cocktail kit. So they'll send you a bottle of Van Gogh, and then I think Lena, you can comment on what's there currently, but there was a watermelon spritzer, different things, so you can have everything right there. To create it in LA is one of the markets for that. So I put the links in there in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the last 3 years, this will be the first year that we haven't done it. We've traveled to one city in the country, and we've done a spirits tasting. It's been mostly American craft spirits. So they'll put us on different teams, and for 3 days, we'll sit and sample one category of spirit. 2 years ago, I got the vodka category. Wow. It's so intense because you start at like 9 in the morning, we don't stop until 5, and they bring you out flights of the spirit. So we would have 5 or 6 of a flight of a vodka 5 or 6 times in a day period. Yeah. So we're sitting there and we're judging the spirits. We're the people who will sit down and give you that like 93 or the 95 on the bottle. Mm-hmm. We've done that. So we take that stuff very, very seriously when we sit down and we give critiques. We write a lot of notes down to the makers and the crafters, because we really want to have quality products. Whatever it is, whatever people are enjoying, we want it to be a quality so that they can have better craft cocktails as the end result. So definitely there's nuances to vodkas. Just like the ladies both said, some are more sweet, like a Ciroc is going to be more on the sweet end. And there are other vodkas that are definitely going to be more sharp, more shiny even. They kind of give you like a moonshine feel. Yeah. So there's definitely a wide range when it comes to vodka profiles.
And you'd be surprised when you're drinking 50 different vodkas, how different they all taste.
Yeah, and how different you feel after.
You fatigued. A lot of tongue fatigue. You drink a lot of water throughout the day, saltine crackers, almond slivers that kind of keep your palate alive. But you really don't get drunk. Your tongue gets numb after a little while because you don't just swallow, you hold it in your mouth. You kind of get that whole feel on how it heats up your tongue and your gums. That all affects the flavor and the process. And some of that can reveal that the maker may have made a mistake in the processing of the product. So it's all really important. And it's something that we definitely learned and become better cocktail makers from having those experiences.
Yeah.
Taneka did gin 2 years.
Yeah, I did gin, and that was a lot. I learned a lot, but gin is a very interesting spirit to taste all day. And I drank over 100.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot.
But somebody's got to do it. You know, we do it for the culture. We do it for the community, for the craft.
We do it for us.
Sorry. Any other questions about the cocktail or any cocktails in general? Far too often we hear women say, you know, I always order a Negroni, even though I don't really like a Negroni. And I hate hearing that. So if there's a cocktail that you're interested in, that you'd like more information on, or you never tried, ask us and maybe we can share you a little bit insight on that.
Okay, we have a question from Susan. She said, do you think you will branch out into other liquors? Oh, we definitely have branched out into other liquors. We work with all types of spirit brands. With our vodka, we just happen to love Van Gogh, so it works perfectly. But we started out drinking tequila. We tried over 500 tequilas, you know, just research and development, you know, just learning how to apply different tequilas to different cocktails. So we love tequila, we love wine, we love non-alcoholic beverages. We were just talking to Imogen about how we love kombucha, and we love teas, we love craft sodas. So we are beverage enthusiasts.
Mm-hmm. Anything you can drink. Water, we got different varieties of water. It can be sparkling, still, flavored. I mean, when you really start to think about the variety of things that you drink throughout the course of the day, it's way more vast, I think, than food options are. And, you know, you can't go, you know, you can go long without food than you can without drinking. So there you have it.
Yes. Someone asked about our favorite tequila to mix cocktails with, and right now it's Patron. You know, we work with them a lot, and they help us, not just silver, they have a lot of different lines of Patron, and you can taste the different flavors, the different nuances. We both went down to Mexico and actually were on their hacienda and learned about the culture and how they have 60 hands touch each bottle. I'm not promoting Patron right now, but that is our favorite tequila. And I saw another question about how do we use teas. That's a really great question, because our very, very first cocktail was made with tea, and it's called the Peninsula Tea, actually. We were commissioned by a couple of food celebrities here. I don't know if you guys know Matt and Ted Lee, but they saw an article about us in our local paper, and they asked us to work with them on our very first festival to create a cocktail that represented South Carolina. So we got tea from the Charleston Plantation. We worked with Firefly, which is the very first distillery here in Charleston, and with their sweet tea vodka. And then we use a local syrup and lemon juice to make a cocktail. And then we garnished it with a cultural rose called a sweetgrass rose that the children make here in Charleston, that they've been making since the beginning of our inhabitants in Charleston. So we were honored to be able to bring that to Atlanta.
Yeah, tea cocktails are really fun. As opposed to using like a ginger ale or a soda
or a juice
as a base, you can use tea. And as I mentioned earlier, you can really control your sweetness and your sugar content when you're using unsweetened teas as the base of your cocktail. You know, we use rose tea in this cocktail. Like the young lady, she didn't have rose tea, she used black tea, or you can use fruit teas, peach teas, hibiscus. Hibiscus is another great one. It's good for you. It's it helps you cool down naturally. Your body does. So it's always good when you can infuse an ingredient that's actually going to have some benefits to you to calm you down or help you sleep, whatever it is. Tea can just add its own properties to it. So we love using teas as a base to our cocktails. It's so much fun, and it's easier to start with the tea base. And as we said, use something like vodka to make it a cocktail. But if you start with the tea base, you can make a cocktail that everyone can enjoy in your family, from the kids to the expected mothers, people who are just not choosing to drink at the moment, which is cool too.
Yes.
Every occasion doesn't call for an alcoholic beverage, but when you do want to make it alcoholic, vodka is a great ingredient to add to fortify that.
Yeah, we also do kombucha beverages as well. So we'll do mocktails and cocktails with kombucha, which is a fermented tea that I happen to love.
We also work with another company that makes like a beer that's tea based. So you can do so much with tea. And the beverage industry is constantly changing, constantly growing. So many different innovations are coming out. Another non-alcoholic option that we're seeing is a lot of CBD or THC-based beverages that you can use with regular teas and fruit juices. So you do have an effect, but it isn't similar to being intoxicated. It's a more subtle feeling. It's a more relaxed type of feeling. So there's just so many different options on how you can imbibe these days.
Yes. That's our last question.
We have another question. We love the questions, you guys.
Yeah,
we miss this engagement, not being able to have events and be at the bar, So please.
And just being able to socially drink with our friends. I mean, we take it for granted when you're doing it every single day for our job, But now we're like limited. And there's a question saying, do you have any no-goes, red flags for cocktail combinations or making, from Miss Imogen? I like to be very careful with how many spirits I put into a cocktail. I like to just mainly focus on one spirit. Maybe you can use a little bit of another spirit to kind of add flavor or be a fortifier for your beverage. But too many spirit combinations may end up being a bad day the next day. So that's really a no-go for me. I don't like to add too many different spirits to one cocktail.
That's a good suggestion for someone who's new to ordering. If you're at a new bar and the menu looks confusing, if there's too many ingredients you don't know offhand, I would stay away from that cocktail because it can be a perfectly made whatever cocktail it is and not taste good to you. Right. So shy away from things that are too complicated on the menu, and if you can't engage with the bartender to really ask, what is Coquille Americano? What is vermouth? You can't get the information, then shy away from it. Another thing is, and this isn't, bar none, but frozen cocktails have a history of hiding, faulty ingredients, maybe not such premium products.
Yeah.
So I rarely will drink a frozen drink for that because they're hiding something in all that ice, in my opinion, in my experience. So also, I just would much rather have a drink that's on the rocks or served straight up like our rose gold is.
And to piggyback off of the extra sugars that are in frozen drinks, you also have to be careful about high fructose corn syrup that's in your beverages. That stuff is super bad for you and very sweet. And we realize that a lot of those sweeteners, especially in like maraschino cherries and different grenadine and over-the-counter different mixers, that they have a lot of high fructose corn syrup, and it leaves you groggy and hungover the next day.
That's right. Great questions, ladies.
Any more questions, ladies?
Try something different. We had the pleasure of going over to Cognac, France, right before the shutdown. So we were introduced to a lot of different varieties of cognac, but also Pinot de Charente, which is a mixture of wine and cognac, which is delicious. Armagnac, just a range of Australian whiskey. I mean, there's just so many different varieties out there. So again, once outside opens up, we want to encourage you to go to a distillery if you haven't ever visited one, go to a brewery, really meet the maker so you can have a better appreciation for the love that goes into making some of these products. Something that's been aged like a cognac, it takes years for them to be able to take their product to market. So they have to really, really love what they're doing in order to be invested in this industry. So, one time for the makers.
We actually tried a cognac from 1700s. So that was like mind blowing to be able to try something from that long ago. So just being able to like immerse yourself into the culture while also having good sips is like the best of the best. And we have another question. Do you find sweeter drinks lead to worse hangovers? Yes, 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 yes. Like they do, like the sugar, the sweetness sometimes, because alcohol is sugar, essentially. So you have the sugar on top of sugar, and it makes you feel horrible, especially if you're not drinking water between cocktails, which we suggest drinking a glass of water between each cocktail or having a mocktail between each cocktail so you're not over imbibing, and also having a light bite to eat before you drink, because if you're eating while you're drinking, it's not going to help you as much as if you've already ate something and it settled your stomach.
Yeah, prepare for
Yes.
a night of socializing. And then when you're out, definitely eat. When we were in Italy, every time we had cocktails, there was something to eat, some type of nuts or olives or crackers, something to nosh on that's going to give your palate a break things up, help metabolize all that liquid, and also, you know, just lead to you having an overall better evening.
And experience. We're all about having wonderful drinking experiences, not horrible hangovers and, you know, terrible stories. We don't want those. We want great stories with our beverage.
You ladies have been awesome.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun, and I feel like we've learned a lot. I think we have, in terms of, just in terms of like this, I mean, sweeter drinks thing we knew. I mean, frozen drinks, I mean, I always like long for like a pina colada, so that was tough to hear, but it makes sense. And I'm just, you know, the tequila, I already confessed to you before we did this program that I'm a big tequila person, so it was great to kind of get a little shout out for that and maybe think about if we can have a Van Gogh tequila. So thank you both. Do we have any more questions? How are those, Jonquil, how's that drink settling? Loving it. Love the tea improvisation. I didn't even think to do that.
Yeah.
Annette, doing really well.
Well,
I'm awesome.
Great.
Great.
We definitely want to ask if you aren't.
A lot too.
Definitely. If you're not already, please follow us on social media at Cocktail Bandits. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, a little bit of Snapchat. Sometimes we TikTok. We have all different sorts of things going on. So definitely please follow us to see what else we have coming down the pipeline. More virtual lives, more virtual engagements. And also check out our book again. We would appreciate your support. Also support Van Gogh and Art Table by purchasing one of these bottles of Van Gogh. $1 is being donated to Art Table from the sale of each bottle.
And follow Van Gogh as well. They have great content on their social media profiles, and we just love following them and working with them. They've been awesome, and we couldn't have asked for better partners in our vodka journey.
We also want
thank you.
all the essential workers, everyone who is serving food, who is providing transportation to people, working in the hospitals. We appreciate all of their help. We want to encourage you guys to stay at home if at all possible. Wear a mask, wash your hands. We will get through all this together. Yes.
Thank you
If anyone,
so much.
I just wanted to mention, if anyone's so inspired to create their own artistic Van Gogh creation, there is a cocktail contest right now. I put the link in there for, there's home bartenders as well as professional bartenders. So, you know, if you know anyone creative in that aspect and want to submit your own art piece, liquid art piece, there's the link for that.
That sounds fun. I feel like, Julie, I'm just seeing your bar set up, and I think that maybe you could be.
I know, I saw that too.
To enter to that. Looks
Go
really.
for it, Julie.
Yes.
Thank you both. I also feel like when there's a vaccine or whenever it's safe, we'd love to all go on a trip with you all. I mean, your travels just sound like amazing.
Our schedule before the pandemic, actually organizing trips to go to these different places, but now I don't even know if Americans are even allowed to go anywhere outside the country.
We'll all go to Holland to the Van Gogh distillery.
Yes, like that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Visit
keep
the
us
Van Gogh
posted.
Museum and the distillery.
Yes.
Keep us posted on your travels. Our next Art Table travel programs for next year are in Scandinavia and Marrakesh. So if you find yourself there,
Exciting.
We will keep that in mind.
We just have one more question, and that's from Jen, who just says, what country has the best cocktail culture? in your opinion?
Oh man.
Well, we haven't been to all countries yet, but from my experience, last year we went to Italy. Johnny explored the north part, and I explored the south for 8 days. And what I loved about Italian culture is they've had these spirits for centuries, but they have not ever really mixed them in cocktails. So they brought over North American mixologists from Canada and America so we can taste the different things and then make our own cocktails. And I learned so much in Italy. It was just such a diverse array of spirits that I tasted flavors, bitters, sweets, just different things that I've never tasted before. So I will say that Italy has my heart right now. Cognac's a strong second, but I just was amazed by the thought and like the longevity of how they've been cultivating their spirits in Italy.
I have to agree that Europeans have an appreciation for aperitivo culture, and just making time to imbibe, to sit down and slow down and enjoy a drink. When we were in Paris, we went to Paris first, and then we went down to Cognac. People just sit outside on the patio and they just drink, and whether it's coffee or wine or water, they take time for that. And so often here in America, we just rush through everything. Even when we do drinks for people in our home, they'll just like gulp it down so quickly. We're like, hold up, that took me 5 minutes to make for you. You gulped it down in 20 seconds. You are insulting me, my art, my craft.
Yeah.
So, when you go to other countries and there's really showmanship, and when they're making the drink and they're proud of introducing it to you, they're offering you a snack for free so that you can enjoy your cocktail properly. That's something that is so uniquely European, that I wish that we would adopt that culture here in America, because I think that there'd be a whole lot less people drunk in the street. Like when we were there in Paris, we went to a wine expo that had people from literally all over the world, China, Portugal, New Zealand, all over the place, showcasing their products. You could drink all day. And we didn't see a drunk person.
I was gonna say that. I really was gonna say that. Like that whole experience, it was 3 days and we did not see not one person having to be carried out or passed out or stumbling. But every conference we go to in America, there is those people that have to be carried out. They just do not know how to handle themselves with all of those spirits. So they overindulge. But that was one thing we learned in Italy. You sip. Yeah. You don't try to drink the whole thing. You just taste it and you learn about it and you appreciate it. And that's what we got from that.
Definitely an interesting thing to keep in mind as you travel. Like what is the culture here? So that's kind of cool. Like your take on Italy. And then like when you visit places like Spain, you think, oh, sangria, wine, but they have like a huge gin and tonic culture. Like where'd that come from? So it's interesting to see what different cultures are into and how that can translate to home. So that's cool.
What's also interesting about that is a lot of spirits that are made in their hometown, they don't like them. So when we were in Cognac, we realized they had a big whiskey culture, because they were so close to the Cognac spirit that they really didn't pay attention to Cognac. It took Americans to really make Cognac popular, which is hilarious. So
there's so many stories behind our drinking ways. So we just love being able to share these little tidbits of information on why people drink the way that they do. And also hopefully we can affect and have people drink better in the future because of that knowledge.
Yes, smarter. Not harder.
Right.
All right.
Ladies, thank you again for your time this evening. This has been awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if you have any follow-up questions, please email us at cocktailbandits@gmail.com. We do private virtual happy hours. We do corporate business. We work with small clubs and the big arenas. So we're open. We're learning, especially through this pandemic, on how to make our business better and how we can be of assistance to people like you all.
Thank you both so much. That was really fantastic and fun as well. So thank you. It feels a bit like Friday now, which is a bit annoying, but that's it. Before we all go, I just want to flag that Art Table programs are beginning again, or kind of gearing up again in September. We have a fantastic lineup of AT Connect speakers. We also have a wonderful kind of a virtual walkthrough of the 9/11 Memorial Museum and Space, kind of an interesting point for those outside of New York, to sort of get an insight on that space and the architecture and the way it's built around the time of the anniversary. And we also have a bunch of sort of local virtual programs that are going to be taking place. So really an opportunity to connect virtually with members in your local chapters. So on that note, goodbye everyone, and we will see you soon.
We're getting a little
Bye.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
for the Instagram.
Thanks, Mango.
Thanks.